to 9:30 a.m.
Getting your mom. Be informed. Let's interact only on the morning drive.
Make it a date with Martin Efanshuku, aka Meta,
and Christy Ekuni Emenari, aka Classy,
from Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
on the morning drive.
103.5 FM,
Good morning and welcome to Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Today, the 20th day of December 2023. Today is Wednesday and the time is 2 minutes past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Punch, Vanguard, Daily Post, Sun, The Nation. This day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at the Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending yours via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online r.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. U.S. court disqualifies Trump for 2024 ballot. Falana, Clark, Rivers elders slam Tinubu's unconstitutional peace deal. Tell Tinubu truth, not what he hears in Villa. Fayemi advises Ganduje. NLC plays a federal government over cash scarcity, seeks liquidity to meet demands. Federal government vows to end insecurity next year as Benue seeks absolute peace. Bandits abduct police officers. Monarch, pregnant woman, 13 others in Taraba. Inspector General of Police cancels the financial sector on cyber threats, offers tips. Osodema suspends approval, issuance of building plans, orders. Rose Vivo demands independent probe of LASBCA, LASPPPA. Oyo Governor Makinde presents staff of office to sound of Ogbomosho, Gandhi, Olaoye. Minister seeks leaders, clerics support for people-centered health care. Supreme Court reserves judgment in Labour Party, PDP's appeal against Sanwo-Olu. Niger Delta stakeholders express concern over PIA powers to oil firms. Family members, friends eulogize late Chief of Army Staff at night of tribute. Obaseki stopped my allocation for 6 months, Chaibu alleges. Human Rights Writers Association flays inauguration of NMPCL board amid legal concerns. Federal government to disburse 75 billion naira loans to MSMEs in January. Associates pray for Saraki at 61. Groups seek United Nations support for judiciary independence. Ukraine to send 25,000 tons of grains to Nigeria. Taiwan urges Nigeria to speed up collaboration process. India firm to invest $5 million in steel plants, says minister. Reps panel summon cryptocurrency firm official over alleged committal of financial crime. Okay. Recalls escape from death, says God supports his Ondo Guba aspiration. Utilize Japa syndrome to upgrade your professional career. Abe retires IVI. Sowell as Uni emerges chairman. Abe retires EV. Sowell as Uni emerges chairman. NASRDA rolls out free satellite images for stakeholders. Onibeju appeals against removal from office. Group to rid Lagos of pests, improve cleanliness. Delta NMPCL UTM partner on Nigeria's first floating LNG. SDN 6 policies to encourage digital inclusion for women. Gregory Varsity to employ 8 first-class graduates. Oshomule to Ganduje, beware of the autocratic nature of APC governors. Budget monitoring, tackling top issues at Gombe House retreat, says Transport Minister. Keep faith with Nigeria, Tinubu diasporans urged. Solid minerals, enough to save Nigeria's economy from crumbling, says Zaura. National Assembly upbraids Petroleum Minister PCNG 1 over alleged inaction on natural gas policy. New NSIB boss pledged to deploy technology to improve air and maritime safety. Yuletide, CAPPA warn against increased intake of salt. Akwa Ibom celebrates promoted state immigration boss. Dakat, be productive, shun illicit drugs. Imo government advises youth. Federal government to empower Chibok community with farm tools worth 210 million naira. Succor for indigent students as Governor Ozodema's daughter sponsors 30 to law school. Minister seeks support of traditional religious leaders for healthcare approach. MSMEs. Federal government to disburse 75 billion naira loans in January 2024. Police arrest 2 for harboring suspected kidnapper in Jigawa. Court grants ex-negotiator Tuko Mamu access to personal physician. I will grant my wife divorce if she pays me 1 million naira. Businessman tells court. NMPCL signs a memorandum of understanding on adoption of methane detection technology. Islamic clerics converge in Kanu to pray for APC victory over NMPP at Supreme Court. Nollywood actors, music stars partner PISEP for entrenchment of peace in Southeast. Dantale is chairman as IPAC elects new neck. Police rescues man after 6 months in kidnapper's den. Tinubu says Nigeria remains top-level offshore, onshore investment destination. Police inspects couple. Police intercepts couple trafficking 1-month-old baby in Anambra. Unaffordable cost of essential medications violate rights to life. Irrigation, agriculture. Experts recommend new land administration method. Tinubu inaugurates 11-man board for NMPPCL. Tinubu inaugurates 11-man board for NMPCL. Federal government threatens to repatriate absconding varsity lecturers. NMA urges friendly laws to promote organ transplants. Coalition falls ECOWAS on Niger crisis, 6 sanctions against Nigeria. Coalition falls ECOWAS on Niger crisis, 6 sanctions against Nigeria. Tinubu meets newspaper proprietors, promises press freedom, orders. Beye Araba Akpofere for burial, December 22nd. Usodema inaugurates Imo Small Claims Court. Police arrest 375 kidnappers, 578 robbers, 431 suspected rapists. Over 2.3 million residents benefit from free bus scheme in Edo. Chevron contributes 1 billion naira to content development, says GM. Federal government, Czech Republic, signed $21.7 million Delta 2 projects pact. Imo holds Christmas Carol tomorrow. X3M Ideas, Babeco win Continental Awards. Senator Palais Umahi as repairs begin on Kaba, Egbe, Ilorin Road. NYSC tax accountant on data protection documentation. Appeal court dismisses Binani's petition, affirms Fintri's electoral victory. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, military, synergize on illicit drug war. IOM facilitates voluntary return of 4,431 Nigerians. We protest to promote democracy, says Nasarawa women. NAFDAC needs over 10,000 personnel, says DG. Lagos State government pledges quality health care services for indigent people. Experts canvass for recycling of e-waste products to reduce health hazards. NGE plans a trust fund for media sustainability professionalism. NGE plans trust fund for media sustainability professionalism. Oyo marketer asks NMPC to establish level playing field. Oyo APC warns members against factionalization. Ekiti state government promises civil servants wage award before end of year. Court restrains ex-minister from holding public office. Migrant workers remittance to home countries worth $73 billion yearly, says ILO. The Guardian wins a Property Editor of the Year award. As Lord's choosing clocks 21, Morka urges members to prepare for holiness. Nigerians may burn over 1.5 trillion naira on cooking gas in 2024 amid incentives. Iyere Otomi Ozokwo launch food security initiative to combat hunger. Gender-based violence. ICWWA urges concrete action to eliminate all forms of gender violence in Nigeria. Insecurity. Journalists urge to prioritize public safety in reportage. Tinubu broadcast truce as Fubara Wike sign peace agreement. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. And from the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. Labour Party replaces PDP in Anambra House of Assembly seat. We never threatened to remove Anyanwu as National Secretary. PDP tells court, I will uphold rule of law. Fentry, asset declaration. Court strikes out suit seeking obese investigation, prosecution. Fire me to APC. Tell Tinubu how Nigerians are faring. Power outage. High cost of diesel push business operators to seek alternatives. Cash crunch amidst hardship. Lagos sales 9 post office, demolishes shanties, illegal structures. FAAN inducts 201 new aviation security cadets. UTM offshore partners NMPC Delta government on floating LNG. Still on the stories making the headlines on the leadership newspaper this morning. Asset declaration. Court strikes out suit seeking obese investigation, prosecution. Fire me to APC. Tell Tinubu how Nigerians are faring. Is Rivers worth it? Rivers crisis. Tinubu directives cannot override court orders. Elders. Reps to probe 210 billion naira alternative school program. 4,387 die in road crashes in 6 months. Police. Rivers truce. Fubara bows, ready to make more concessions. Court grants Mahmoud's request to see doctor. Ogoniland gives condition for oil production. Bandits abduct 2 policemen, 28 others in Taraba, Sokoto. Reps to probe Nigeria's $7 billion annual maritime loss. I didn't order dress code for Niger workers. Bago. Zenith Bank listed among 100 top global companies. No provision for consensus. No provision for census next year. Senate. Supreme Court hears Kanu governorship appeal tomorrow. Governor Fubara approves 1.1 million Christmas bonus for Rivers civil servants. Governor Fubara approves 0.1 million naira Christmas bonus for Rivers civil servants. Court clerk killed in Adamawa after serving summons. Suspect arrested. Edo Obaseki denied my office funds for 6 months. Shaibu. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Punch newspaper. Rivers, PDP, Clark falls Tinubu's peace deal. APC slams opposition. Court grants a Boko Haram negotiator access to physicians. Makinde fumes over suits against Sound, threatens litigants. Makinde fumes over suits against Sound, threatens litigants. Don't depend on Villa for feedback. Fire me, advises Tinubu. Budget. Speaker asks committees to submit ministries, departments, agencies, defense. Terrorism. Kanu not broken by Supreme Court verdict, says lawyer. Allocation to my top 6 months ago. Chaibu. Federal government must re-strategize waivers to curb Japa syndrome. Waziri. Trump barred from Colorado presidential ballot over Capitol attack role. Federal government, we've taken this. Israel Hamas, 60 arrested as protesters storm U.S. Capitol. Rivers, PDP, Clark falls Tinubu's peace deal. APC slams opposition. Gombe Hospital loses specialists annually to UK, Saudi Arabia. Residents for cholera outbreak as water scarcity hits Lokoja. Residents fear cholera outbreak as water scarcity hits Lokoja. HOS cancels civil servants on diligence. Sanwo-Olu opens a red line rail flyover. Projects 500,000 passengers daily. Motorists lament deplorable 118-kilometer Kefi, Nasarawa, Toto Federal Highway. Southeast security has improved under Tinubu, says Ribadu. Kogi arrests 10 illegal miners, seizes 50 coal trucks. Monarch condemns residents' harassment in border communities. Don't introduce ethnic, religious motives to Kaduna era bombing. Vasa, live in fear over serial kidnappings. Don't let people attack us. Gombe NBA boss warns lawyers, judges. You're tired. FRSC cautions motorists against overloading. Theft. Cross River governor promised to compensate me, says Mayor Kun. You're tired. Alia orders cut in transport fares. 100 palliative buses. Anti-corruption fight battle for Nigeria's soul, says EFCC chairman. Fake products. We lost our mother for nothing. Son of late NAFDAC boss Akinli laments. US urges transparency as elections begin in DR Congo. GDP growth in Q3 not sufficient, says statistician general. Police arrest suspected cultists terrorizing Ogun community. My decision to reign not easy. Lalong tells my decision to resign not easy. Lalong tells Tinubu. 3 die as Elena rams into tricycle in Ogun. FCTA to relocate Abuja community to accommodate presidential fleet. That's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. And from the Punch newspaper, we flip over to Vanguard newspaper. Trump ineligible to run for president over rule in Capitol riot, court rules. $19 billion Dangote refinery gets another 1 million barrels crude oil. African trade unions fume over labor rights in Nigeria. African trade unions fume over labor rights in Nigeria. Niger lawmakers blame upsurge banditry on failed roads. No price too big for peace in rivers. Fubara. Prevailing naira scarcity. Unacceptable. Labor. Makinde to sound. You must work for unity of traditional council. Customs. Mortgage bank partner on 5,009 housing units for officers. Telecos to block subscribers without NIN on February. No provision for census in 2024 budget. Senate. Economy stunted by poor GDP growth. Statistician General. Akande Fayemi Oshun Ikazo chart way forward for APC. Akande Fayemi Oshun Ikazo chart way for APC. We don't recognize 27 Rivers House members who dumped PDP, APC Assembly Forum. Lalong exits Tinubu's cabinet to be sworn in Senate today. I haven't received allocation for 6 months. Chaibu, Edo deputy governor. Tinubu has no constitutional role in resolving Ondo Rivers crisis. Falana. APC working to ensure better living conditions for Nigerians. Ganduje. Pope's same-sex marriage blessing. Church's principles unchanged. Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria. Kaduna bombing. Anybody found culpable will be punished. Defense chief. Police intercept couple trafficking 1-month-old baby in Anambra. At least 118 killed, hundreds injured. China earthquake. Banditry. Gunmen abduct Taraba chief, 2 police officers, 13 others. That's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And from the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Features of bad bet and its benefits. PDP, Clark rejects terms of Fubara Wike truce. We aim at making Nigeria's upstream sector investors' destination. NUPRC boss. NSA asks EFCC to track proceeds of kidnapping, terrorism. Rivers Assembly, 25 defectors have lost their seats. PDP insists. Lords Mba on security as governor promises tougher measures against criminals. SSANU demands implementation of proposed wage increase, payment of salary arrears, others. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Sun newspaper this morning. Naval Dockyard rewards civilian staff. Makinde presents staff of office to new sound of Obomosho. Sanwo-Olu opens Ikeja Red Line flyover to traffic. Imo community to abolish Osu-Oku caste systems. Castech Engineering prays appeal court to set aside judgment on OML's 123, 124, 126, 137 dispute. Monarch, 2 clerics, 2 policemen, 16 others abducted in Akwa Ibom, Taraba. Gunmen kidnap Akwa Ibom High Court judge, kill oddly. IPOB's ESN blows hot, vows to strengthen security in Southeast. Police arrest couple, we've taken this. Yaotide, innocent, delivers security trucks to Anambra government. Many injured, shops raised as tanker catches fire in Plateau. Labour Party replaces PDP in Anambra House of Assembly. Federal government earmarks zero budget for national 2024 census. Inspector General of Police cancels the financial sector over cyber threats, attacks. Bandits kill 1, abduct 6 in Sokoto. Enugu police rescue 4 kidnapped victims, neutralize suspect. 2027 group urges Ogun West leaders to close ranks. Udom to deliver convocation lecture as MTU graduates 348. Imonike, champion editor, sex to bury dad. Biafra, Bim, Masob Shiften digs own grave in Imo. Adeleke lifts curfew on Ifon Ilobu communities in Oshun. And communions as Southern Kaduna professionals honors ex-MPC commissioner over successful tenure. Imo community to abolish Osu-Ohu caste systems. That's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. And from the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to Daily Post newspaper. Fubara approves Christmas bonus for Rivers civil servants. Imo community set to abolish Osu, Ume, Oku caste systems. Remain committed, loyal. HOS Yemi Esan charges civil servants. Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps deploys over 2,000 personnel for each free year tide in Kogi. Kosima loses 450 million naira in Kogi. Governor Oyebanji calls for empathy, support for war veterans' families. Ekiti to sanction owners of unregistered vehicles in 2024. Telecoms announce fresh deadline to disconnect SIMs not linked to NIN. Para Commissioner of Police warns against use of fireworks, knockout, bangers. Police confirm abduction of High Court judge in Akwa Ibom. Oshun government lifts curfew in Ilobu. Ifon Oshun communities. Governor Mufwang assures Plateau citizens of prudent financial management. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. You are tuned to Ebon at the 103.5 FM, and this is newspaper headlines. We will now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Idemili Unity Cup, ọ ga-adịkwa egwu. Ndị Love Bite Fruits and Beverages Limited Nnobi na-ekpokọba asọmpi egwuregwu bọọlụ ga-adị n'etiti obodo 17 dị na Idemili North and South Local Government ọnwa Disemba ga-adị na mkpụrụ ụbọchị 20. A ga-enye obodo ọbụla ga-esonye na asọmpi a ego dị 200,000 naira iji wee kwado nke ọma. Ihe nrite nke mbụ 2 million naira, ihe nrite nke abụọ 1 million naira, nke atọ 500,000 naira. Ọ ga-akpọtụ na Central School Field Umuru Nnobi malite na 24th wee rute 31st December 2023 dịrịkwa na 1st January 2024. A ga-ekwupụtakwazi ihe ndị ọzọ gbasara asọmpi a n'ọdịnihu. Mgbakpọ ekwentị a 07033885866. Onye binyere aka n'ọkwa bụ Mr. Christian Abajuo, Head of Marketing and Brand Development, Love Bite Fruits Limited Nnobi.
The chairman, members of Uru Central Executive, and the entire Uru village community joyfully invite the illustrious sons and daughters of Abagana, in-laws, friends, and well-wishers to the Median Uru Development Day celebration holding on the 27th day of December 2023 at Uru Village Square. Time is 12 noon. Come and be part of this epoch-making event. May God bless you as you come. Signed, Assistant Professor Uchenna Prosper Okonkwo, Chairman, Uru Village Community.
The family of Dr. C. Obiefuna and Dr. Chinwe C. Nduka cordially invite you to join us to celebrate the initiation of Dr. Clement Obiefuna Nduka Ikenga Adamanare into the sacred and also class of chieftains and his enthronement onto hallowed Upper Stool in ancient December 2023 Afuano celebration. For Upper Stool and Iyom celebration, it will be on Thursday, 4th January 2024. Time 12 noon. Venue Chief C. Obiefuna and High Chief Dr. Chinwenduka residents, Umudiana Adamanre, Anocha Council Area, Anambra State, Nigeria. Please do join us as we celebrate. Announcer Dr. C. Obiefuna and Dr. Chinwenduka.
Crossover Night 2023. Nkwadebe maka ịgafe n'afọ ọhụụ. Ndị ụlọ ekpere Tabernacle of Praise Adoration Ministry dị n'Ogidi na-ewetara gị Crossover Night 2023 bụ nke a kpọrọ Night of Taking Over. Abalị ga-adị ebube, abalị iweghara ikikere anyị ga-eji meribiga oke n'afọ 2024. Isiokwu ya bụ Crossing the Red Sea, ịgafe osimiri uhie. Ọ ga-adị n'abalị 31 nke ọnwa Disemba n'afọ 2023. Ọ ga-amalite n'elekere 8 nke abalị kpọmkwem n'ụlọ ekpere Tabernacle of Praise Adoration Ministry dị n'Ogidi Anyukwu n'ime steeti ebe Anambra. Onye ga-ele ọbịa bụ Apostle Dr. John Oka JP. Ọ ga-abụ ngedegwu, ọ ga-abụ ọpụrụ iche, ọ ga-abụ ụwa bịa kirie maka na ndị ga-eji egwu wee kụba anyị n'afọ ọhụụ bụ Ambassador Dr. James Arum Ebubedike nakwa Evangelist Abraham Edozie nwa mgbe nta. Abalị dị ebube, abalị nnara ike, abalị ga-ejupụta n'ọṅụ na otite mmanụ. Kpọrọ ndị ezinụlọ gị na ndị enyi gị bịa sonye n'ọgbakọ abalị a. Eluigwe aghaghị ikwu okwu ọma n'isi gị. Jizọs bụ eze.
Mgbe maka this boy ya na-agba enyi. That guy na-enye nsogbu.
Ebe ọ na-adị 103.5 FM na Babuwa Production.
Police for vigilante.
Not my business. When I will tell you, AJ radio drama, Erico. Akụkọ ihe mere AJ radio drama, Erico, Ghana Dialogue every Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Saturday, 3 o'clock p.m. Now, upon at 103.5 FM.
If you move and finish your newsletter,
Amara ni lewa di amo. Bobo suna ka do do na ma ko na ne di ko na ye. Nke ka di ko ke wona na ma wusu na ye ma o le si.
Ekwekwala ka akọlụ gị nke a akọlụ. A lot of people complain about not using their talents the way they want to. Utilize this opportunity today. Are you an aspiring actor, musician, dancer? Here is the opportunity you have been waiting for. Register with Babowa Production at Ebona the 103.5 FM today to make your God-given gift money-making venture using your God-given gift today. For more information, call 08039167049. Don't miss out on this opportunity.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 08096661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as well live at Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to the Nation newspaper. No price too much to pay for peace in Rivers, says Fubara. Ibadan-based fraudster gets 75 years imprisonment. NLNG inaugurates accident emergency unit at University of Uyo. Ondo University gets new library. Let's speak truth to power. Fayemi urges party leaders. Ex-Punch workers launch book on career experiences today. Adewusi remains our only Oba-elect, says Amuwo Odofe ruling houses. 2024 will be a year of peace, says First Lady. While federal government is eyeing Islamic finance by Edun, EFCC now to beam searchlight on cancels. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Tinubu, expect full manifestation of my reforms next year. Insecurity hampering Southeast economic growth, says Deputy Speaker. National Assembly to pass 2024 budget before December 30th, says Abbas. Another harvest of flowers for the nation. 200 FCT houses to give way to presidential fleet. Court grants Tuko Mamu access to personal physician. Pope Francis signs a decree forbidding same-sex marriage. Ex-Power Minister Aguloye in our custody, says EFCC. While federal government is promoting plea bargain in criminal cases by Fabwemi. Reps probe Kaduna era bombings, seek competition for victims. Reps probe Kaduna era bombings, seek compensation for victims. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Nation newspaper, will flip over to This Day newspaper. Sanwo-Olu opens Ikeja Red Line flyover. Zenith Bank achieves distinction as sole Nigerian brand on World Finance 100 listing for 2023. NMPC Total Energies signed a memorandum of understanding on adoption, deployment of methane detection technology. Petroleum Ministry Defense 9.6 billion naira budget sets up innovation committee. PDP, there is no remedy for embattled 25 Rivers lawmakers. Obaseki approves free health insurance for Edo pensioners, vigilant operatives. MTN Nigeria wins International Airship Attitude Awards. House urges Inspector General to implement a recommendation of PSC on promotion of officers. CBN molds regulations against climate risk to drive sustainable banking principles. Petroleum Ministry defends 9.6 billion naira budget, sets up innovation committee. WTC Abuja residents elevates urban living with unrivaled luxury, connectivity community. FCT Water Board generates 3 billion naira revenue in 2023. And that's the much we can take from this day newspaper. From this day newspaper, we flip over to Nigerian Tribune. Fund, yes. Cooperative launches food initiative to eradicate hunger. Fake product trend. Dora Akinle's son says mother died in vain. Fake drink trends. Viral post on our product false. Mischievous. Malta Guinness. Nigerians should celebrate outcome of Rivers political impasse, NEF. Update your land title documents or risk revoke within 11 days. Brunei government. Newly promoted Nigerian immigration service officers urged to prioritize national defense. Nigeria will flourish under Tinubu. Christian Association of Nigerian President. Oyo Assembly passes 438.44 billion naira 2024 appropriation bill. No provision for census in 2024 budget. Senate. PDP congratulates Saraki on 61st birthday. Tinubu's busy with governance, not 2027 politics. APC shifting. Mumuni. Ifon Ilobo communal crisis. Adeleke lifts curfew with immediate effect. We need funding for research works, says ASLTON chairperson. Supreme Court reserves judgment on appeals against Sanwo-Olu's Guba election. That's the most we can take from Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebonade 103.5 FM. We will now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you reactions this morning. And from our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message is coming from famous Christian. He's joining us from Ivide village, Agunozibo. And he says, okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message is coming from Comrade Manli Oduago from Odumobosi. And he says, truly, it's difficult to achieve justice in Nigeria because of our perception of the true meaning of justice. Nigeria's perception of justice is highly influenced by our territorial imperative, and not until we accept the US all concept can there be the us all concept can there be any form of social justice. Us all as the thesis and them the antithesis, and us all remain the thesis. That's Niger for us. Comrade Manli Oduago from Odumobesi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message is coming from Agonabo na Ofa Aguluzibo. On what ground? He says, on what ground did he convince of any crime or just a political quagmire? Let's see it unfolding, because we know that Trump is a great contender and a match to Biden. We are watching. He continued and said, will Nigeria be good again? When are we going to hear a good news that Nigeria is bouncing back and everything working well? Nnamdi Kanu was not broken, but we are broke. The hope of common man is denied and our lives are in danger. Let them do fast about it. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Paul Nwizu from Onitsha, and it says, Fubara and Wike problems is the handwork of godfatherism. Nigerians must learn a lesson. Nothing can a greedy person, nothing can, be enough for a greedy person. Paul Nwizu from Onitsha, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, we have this message. It's coming from Onyeka Nwabufo from Umuoji, and he says, it is demoralizing for Pope, who is the father of Christendom, to endorse same-sex marriage and tell Catholic priests to bless the. Okay, and he says I urge African priests to ignore him. Okay, he did not endorse same-sex marriage. He only asked that they could bless same-sex couples. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we ask him. We have this message. It's coming from Comrade Ibudu from Abagana, and he says Nollywood and music artists partnering for peace in Southeast is a welcome development. May God grant them wisdom. This Edo Obaseki and his vice has become too worrisome. Please, the necessary personalities to intervene for peace to reign between them. He continued and says Governor Alia is the next to Father Moses Sadasu as the best governor Benue State. May God protect and provide him with wisdom to rule. Also, Trump ineligibility of running should enlighten Nigeria on how personality does not matter in leadership. If Trump was a Nigerian APC, PDP, Labour Party, or whatever party he came from, would have stand by fire by thunder. For Donald Trump, without considering or comparing his good and bad, and of course, our dubious judiciary would have ended up granting his request. Okay, we don't condone the word using the word dubious against our judiciary, but thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Valentine Edene from Mpo, and it says Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of same-sex issues. Genesis 13 to verses 12, and it says and 19 to 29 talk about it. Even Pope might have read it in the Bible, yet he went ahead to bless same-sex. He says, what incredible decision. It's high to have Nigerian Catholic because world is gradually turning to something else. Valentine Edene from Mpo, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It is coming from Maloto Patrick from Monteja, and it says for Ukraine to send 25,000 tons of grains to Nigeria is a welcome development. At least it will go a long way in reducing the level of hunger in the country. But on the other hand, it is a shame to the country. How can you tell me that Ukraine has become war-torn since February 2022 is still able to produce enough food for her citizens and still have access to export to Nigeria and other countries, but Nigeria that is not in war cannot produce enough food for her citizens, and yet our president has the audacity and effrontery to propose the sum of 7.5 billion naira for a presidential yacht in the first instance and 15 billion naira just for the renovation of vice president's residential quarters, while the majority of the entire people of the country are wallowing in abject poverty and penury. It is very unfortunate and at the same time unacceptable. This is coming from Maloto Patrick from Nteje. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Ndubisi Okafor from Umueze Umunachi, and he says, I commend Innocent for donating security vehicles to Anambra State. I urge other well-meaning Anambrarians to emulate his philanthropic gestures and think home philosophy. More so, I condemn the World Bank recommendation to increase the price of fuel to 750. It is quite a display of wickedness when Nigerians are passing through lots of difficulties, depression, insecurities, hunger, and others. Ndubisi Okafor from Umueze Umunachi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Christian Ufondo from Onitsha, and he says, APC working towards making things work well for Nigerians. This is a lie. And he says, how can one tell us that APC is trying to improve the standard of living of the citizens when Nigerians are dying slowly because of their party's inability to give them the dividend of democracy? Those in authority should stop deceiving themselves in the pretext of deceiving the citizens of this country. We know them more than they know themselves. Elephants cannot find a hiding place in the desert. Therefore, you are quite visible, and all your bad deeds have been brought to light. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Team Welcome Development. In this 21st century, such a system should not be allowed to exist. Other communities where such system is still being practiced should desist and take the bold step to abolish it. T-Man from Ikem Ifte Nando, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It is coming from Chike Obata from Obineti Tiokozu, and it says, kudos to the court that struck out petition against P2B. Congratulations to Anambra Labour Party that replaced PDP member Kanduje and Tinubu. There is no hope in Nigeria in this regime of APC. Imo to abolish Osu is very good because we all are created this morning. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from John Ume from Okozu, and it says Tinubu promised Nigerians that by December 2023, the Port Harcourt refinery will start functioning, but we are yet to see anything in place. Nigerians are still suffering from the evil policies that were introduced to the country by this government, and there is nothing in sight to ameliorate the sufferings because the government lacks what it takes to perform. Since 7 months, Tinubu foisted himself on Nigerians. He has been giving us empty promises because he has nothing to offer. John Ume, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Sonny Ome from Unsoka, and he says abolition of Osu caste system in Imo State, a welcome development. It is irrelevant in 21st century world. He continued and says same-sex marriage and Pope. I thank the Pope for coming up with that decree. Many would have been swayed by that controversial blessing. And he said, he continued, I don't think we have seen the last of it when it comes to Fubara and Wike. And he says the governor of state cannot be remote controlled by a minister. Wike is only relying on the federal might. Which minister or senator has ever challenged a sitting governor and won without a bloody nose? Wike shouldn't start what he cannot finish. He cannot be bigger than Rivers people. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this one is that says, please, concerning Pope issues, we are the temple of God and have personal experience and encounter with God, and everyone to his sin. So if Pope sign have nothing to do with individual life. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll now flip over to our SMS portal to bring you reactions this morning. On our SMS portal, we have this message is coming from Wingate Ike Chukwunwakeze from Okozo, and it says the recent appointment of Professor Kate Menoha as Vice Chancellor COOU is a welcome development and honor well deserved, and kudos to her. So he said, okay, coming from Wingate Ike Chukwunwakeze, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also have this message is coming from Honorable Onyedika Osakwe, and he says those taking P2B to court in order to indict him is just pouring water on top of a rock. I know that P2B will be more courageous to tell people the truth, as this government now is a wild wind that blows nobody good. I hope that justice will prevail tomorrow in Kano State as the Supreme Court faces another litmus test. We are monitoring Nigeria. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. He also said bandits have taken over control of many states and abduct people and kill some at will, and federal government is not at all doing anything apart from daily praises accorded to themselves in the pages of newspapers. It is only in Nigeria that truth turns to be bitterly. The APC-led government cannot boast of any good omen. Insisted they instilled in giving us monkey meat and gold in the darkness. Everything is just lackadaisical in nature. Gunmen and kidnappers are now on rampage, and what remains is to inculcate them into our monthly budget. The abolition of Osu and Ohu in Imo State is a mere story. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message is coming from Sir White from Nice, and he says the couple that was caught in child trafficking should face the consequences. Sir White from Nice, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Agụgide beauty pageant ahụchikwala n'ọzọ na-agba nke asatọ ya. Ị nwere agwa bụ mma nwaanyị, ohere ọzọ abịara gị iji mara onye ga-abụ Adaogidi 2023 to 2024. Onye nke mbụ ga-ewin
650,000 naira.
Onye nke abụọ ga-ewin 200,000 naira. Ebe onye nke atọ ga-ewin 100,000 naira. Date ga-abụ ụbọchị 30 December 2023. Time 6 p.m. Ebe ọ ga-adị wee mebụ na Leofree Residency Hotel Ogidi. Anyị na-ekele ndị nkwado anyị. Residency Hotel Ogidi, ebe ọ na-adị FM Ogidi, Kentuka Homes Limited, Lagos, Castro International Limited, Holland, nakwa Ike Ogidi Canada Motors. Maka ajụjụ na nkwado, gbaa akara ekwentị ndị a 0901 3566 263 maọbụ 0811 6536 066. Ada Ogidi 2023-2024, onye ga-etu ga.
Green Energy City Estate, Ibuzo, they thank all our esteemed customers for your support all this time. And to show our appreciation, we they give you 25% discount. 25% discount plus one bag of rice when you buy land inside any of our solar powered smart from 7th December 2023, going 7th of January 2024 inside Green Energy City Estate, phase 1 for 3 million naira, or Green Energy City Estate phase 2 for 3.5 million naira. No worry, installment payment plan day to make am easy for you, and you go get 25% amount plus one bag of rice when you buy any plot between December 7th to 7th of January. Rush put call now to 070 32 86 22 49. That is 070 32 86 22 49.
You are tuned to Ebona, the 103.5 FM, and this is Newspaper Headlines. Now we flip over to our Facebook portal to bring you more reactions. And on our Facebook portal this morning, we have a message coming from Ogugwa Kenneth Okuchuku from Umuoba Anam, Umuoba Lishi Kingdom. And he says, I am demoralized in Nigeria security apparatus, Japa syndrome. I lose hope in leadership of the government. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And then we have this message coming from Dr. Mrs. Olebara from Owerri, and she says, Labour can say that again. The suffering in the land has become ghastly, and the majority of Nigerians are in excruciating pains and dying slowly but surely. And she continues and says, many can no longer provide a square meal, and for how long shall this agony last? Our leaders are living flamboyantly, not feeling the pains of the masses, and have refused to cut down high costs of governance. Where do we go from here? Okay, thank you so much for joining Dr. Mrs. Olebara. And with that message from our Facebook portal this morning, this is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning. Once it's 7 o'clock, so keep a date. Touch the dial of Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Once it's 8:20, we'll be back with Birthday Splash. Until we meet again, I am Martin. Have a fabulous morning.
Maka disco ya na mgbe dada imeni nsogbu.
Ebona the 103.5 FM. Nabakowa production. Police for vigilante. My business. When I will tell you, AJ radio drama, there we go. Eriko Ghana Dialogue every Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Saturday, 3 o'clock p.m. Now, Ebona, the 103.5 FM.
If you move by finish your
niile nwadịghị ahụ ụbọchị m na-aga n'obodo m na-ama akụ na ya na-erikọ n'anya nke ka dịkwu nke mụ na ana m ahụzikwu n'anya ma ọ bụ n'eziokwu
Ekwekwala ka akọlụ gị nke a akọlụ. A lot of people complain about not using their talents the way they want to. Utilize this opportunity today. Are you an aspiring actor, musician, dancer? Here is the opportunity you have been waiting for. Register with Babowa Production at Ebona, the 103.5 FM today to make your God-given gift money-making venture using your God-given gift today. For more information, call 080-3916-7049. Don't miss out on this opportunity.
And we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general. Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonade FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be,
Our government,
whatever. Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community, Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifansh, as number the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebonade 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds
in your face
on Martin Ebonade corner
24/7, 24/7.
Hey, I don't get it 50%. Chikwana n'ọzọ na agba nke asatọ